Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we will be joined by Dimitrios, a great partner of Crossbox Digital, great expert front-end development, great guy, has done Shopify shops since the day I know him, which is almost a year now. We've worked together on many projects. He's a great expert and I'm glad to have him today with us. So Dimitris, would you like to talk to us about what the main purpose of the call is today and what we're going to discuss?
Yeah, hello, thank you for having me. And today we're going to discuss about the differences between the Checkout UI and Checkout.Liquid and what's all that transition that Shopify has been talking about. Why should we do it? How can we do it? And does it even worth it?
All right, perfect. So, if you don't mind, let me ask, what is the Checkout UI? What is the difference between the Checkout UI and the Checkout Liquid? To begin with, why should someone care, and who should even care?
The differences are the limitation on styling you have on Checkout UI.
Mm-hmm.
In Checkout UI, you have a JSON format where you can, it's close to CSS, but it's very limited. And on Checkout UI and Checkout Liquid, you have a regular CSS format, but their main difference is that the Checkout Liquid is getting deprecated.
Okay.
And apart from that, you also have the
When
option to choose
when is it getting
when
deprecated?
August 13th, 2024, they are going to turn off the information shipping and payment pages. And August 28th, 2025, they are going to turn off the thank you, the order status pages, and the Shopify scripts.
What do you mean by turning off exactly?
You won't be able to style the specific pages with Checkout Liquid.
So it's basically just the deprecation of Checkout.Liquid, and they're forcing the Shopify Plus merchants, from my understanding, to go to Checkout UI, build Checkout UI app extensions, and work with those to customize
Exactly.
stuff. Okay, so you mentioned there is a big difference between how the Checkout.Liquid works and how the Checkout UI works. Do you want to expand a bit on this? What is the biggest difference? You mentioned CSS and JSON format, but what exactly happens there? How is it going to impact people?
Uh, yeah, if you know CSS, it won't be that easy for you to style something because based on the documentation you have available, which is kinda limited, it's not going to be I am targeting the specific class name and I am adding border radius, something random, or changing the disabled state. It's not that easy. You have to follow a specific JSON format that it's it's mostly the same compared to the latest releases, but it's limited. You're not able, for example, to style the disabled state on the primary buttons, and you're not able to change the text field background on all text fields. You must follow one color, background color, and you're not able to have
So it sounds
one
to me
text.
as if they're simply limiting stuff.
Yeah, they're trying to make it like dummy proof, so you won't be able to drastically reduce the conversion rate if you change everything.
Right, so is it an uplift or a downlift? What's your opinion?
It's an uplift if you care about conversion rate, which everybody cares. And if you want something that's truly custom, you have to go to build a custom website. If you want the stability and the ease of use that Shopify provides, then you just stay with Shopify and try to do your best to match the limitations you have with branding colors and the overall aesthetic.
But the most people I know usually change to Shopify because the checkout is converting this well. So I'm guessing there is something they're doing right. If they say it's for the better, it's probably for the better, I would presume. What's your opinion?
Yeah, maybe they have their reasons to change. Maybe there have been like incidents of uh, merchants changing their colors way too much because they have that freedom on Checkout.Liquid, thus drastically reducing the conversion rate. So they're like, okay, you're going to change only the essential, so you can differentiate from the competition, but you won't be able to change everything.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So let's say I'm a Shopify Plus merchant, I have a bunch of customizations already set, and I want to migrate. Do I need a freelance developer? Do I need a big agency, a big fancy agency, Shopify Plus agency? How should I proceed?
Yeah. If you have a substantial budget, I recommend opting for someone with direct experience in the specific field. You want to look for individuals or teams who have a proven track record of completing successfully similar projects. You want the been there, done that type of team. And for instance, if you are seeking to build an automated discount function on Shopify, you want to prioritize developers and teams who already have delivered that and check testimonials, check which brands trust that agency, and based on the budget, you have to choose the best option.
But since there is a very limited time since the whole checkout UI came out, I mean, it came out in September or August, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, if I recall correctly.
Doesn't that mean there's a lot less agencies and freelancers that have actually already migrated? So there is a lot less experienced people doing this stuff and a lot less documentation for it, I guess.
Yeah, uh, the documentation is limited. The YouTube tutorials are limited. The Shopify forums do not have that the comprehensive information compared to the Checkout.Liquid. And yeah, there are not many agencies and freelancers doing that type of migration and building custom app block extensions, Shopify functions. It's limited, yeah.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, well, until when we said it's until August, right? So when do you think people
August 2024.
should start migrating? Would be my next question.
As soon as possible. The more you wait, the more expensive it gets because other merchants wait as well. So it's supply and demand. If everybody requests a migration on July, it's going to be more expensive.
Okay, I'm gonna make the obvious question, I guess, which would be, what if I can't style everything as it used to be, and it just looks kind of at the moment?
Yeah, you either stay to the regular checkout that Shopify provides, which is gray and blue buttons, or you try to match your brand color and aesthetics. You don't have many choices.
So, what are the biggest limitations you've seen with the checkout UI, the addition of the checkout UI?
Mhm.
What should I be considering when trying to migrate?
Biggest limitations. You're not able to add specific background colors to every single element. You have to like create groups. For example, text fields have a specific background color. The left side has one color. The right hand side has a specific color. The primary buttons cannot be different. The primary buttons are the review order at the bottom on the left side and the apply discount code on the right side. They must be the same color, for example.
Okay. What about the
And yeah.
fonts? How does the whole font thing work? Can I just handpick what font size I want to use on everything, or did that change?
You can add custom fonts, but still you're limited. For example, you won't be able to add a specific font on one single element.
Oh, I was actually
You
talking about the font size, not the
the
font.
font size. Regarding the font size, it's the same thing as the font family itself. You
Hmm.
you cannot say I want that specific thing to be 20 pixels, for example. For example, in the text field, the email must be the same with the name. You cannot say I want email 20, name 12.
I can see why that's a good thing and why that could be a bad thing for some
Yeah,
merchants. So, do you
yeah.
think Shopify messed up with a product and it's incomplete in a way, or do you think it can be improved to make the question a bit easier?
Y- Yeah, it can be improved, but I do not believe it's incomplete. I believe it's like a minimum viable product. They try something, they see if it works, and then they iterate on that. Maybe if it didn't work, they might say, okay, let's drop it and do something else. So I don't believe it's like disappointment.
But is the one-page checkout that important for me to have to sacrifice on the stylings I've already created?
Uh, the one page checkout has increased conversion rate, so I believe that it's more important to have an increased conversion rate compared to have the absolute freedom on customizing your checkout.
All right, but let's say I want to maybe migrate on July and hope for the best that they will let me change everything, right? And keep it the same as it was. Do you think that's possible? Can I keep all the changes I've done on my current setup and hope for the best that I can migrate in July, just a month before they force me to, basically?
Based on the unstable version, right now we have the latest version, which is April 2024.
Mm.
After that, we have the release candidate, which is in 3 months from now, and the unstable is 3 months, 6 months from now. So, based on the unstable version, on the documentation I have read, you won't be able to do the same as you do in Checkout.Liquid.
So it's a big no. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Isn't it just gonna be very expensive to migrate? I mean, let's assume that I've done already a lot of customizations for my checkout because it used to be easier in some way to just go on Checkout.Liquid and work on the CSS and whatever. Isn't it just gonna be like a double cost for me? Let's say I did the whole thing like a year or two ago, and now I have to redo the whole thing because Shopify is forcing me.
Yeah, you have to find either the same developers again, or if they don't know how to do it, you have to find a new freelancer or agency to do that migration for you. So yeah, it's probably double cost.
All right. Do you know, based on your feeling, how much merchants should expect to pay for such a migration? Does it have to do with the project itself? Is it just a standard procedure? Is it gonna cost anything anywhere between 1K to 15K, or how is it gonna look like for the most people?
Yeah, for that you can go check Crossbox Digital, and I believe there will be a link to the description. There are three pricing plans. The first one is the basic one. You get one developer and theme development in that plan. The pro version is two developers and you get theme development, custom apps, um, checkout UI migrations. There you can go check. We might add more, so you can go check yourself. And the enterprise edition is for developers and everything that the Pro version does.
Okay, so a quick question for me.
Mhm.
Let's say I want to go for the pro plan and just migrate, but I don't need the full month of subscription. How does that work?
Yeah, you can go purchase the plan and then you can pause. For example, if we finish the migration in 1 week, you can pause the subscription and you can use it afterwards. No big deal. You won't lose your money.
Okay, so what do I get out of a subscription? Is the biggest question I guess I have.
You get you get peace of mind. You know that you get the developers, they are experienced, they do not need any benefits like health insurance or 401k. You just get the developers, write the tickets that you want to be resolved, and you're good to go.
So is it basically just getting a developer in my company at a certain price, I guess?
It's
Like
way
getting a
more expensive
dedicated
to get a developer.
developer?
It's way more expensive. You have to get a developer, train the developer, provide
No,
all the
no, the
benefits.
question was actually if it is like getting a developer, subscribing to the
Yeah,
platform.
yeah, it is like getting a developer.
Do you know how the to-dos would work? Like, let's say I have
And
the checkout migration
mhm.
and I don't know, like a couple Shopify functions I want to work on and whatnot. How is that gonna look like?
We provide the Trello board, and you can go and create your own tasks. And the the average um completion time is 48 hours. And if, for example, you want something that is very intricate, you we reach out to you and say this will not take 48 hours. This might take like 72 hours.
Okay, got it. All right, I do have one more question regarding the whole changes with the checkout UI, and the question goes to Shopify functions. What is the difference between that and the script editor?
Mhm. The difference is that the Shopify functions, you are able to use JavaScript, Rust, WebAssembly compared to just using Ruby, and you get an enhanced version with storefront functionalities which you weren't able before.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You can use Shopify functions like you would use the script editor, or can I use Shopify functions with the checkout UI? Like combine those two?
You can use the Shopify functions with the checkout UI, and for example, you might want to create an automated discount function. You are able to do that with Shopify function.
Okay, can I also create different things other than that?
There is a variety of the possibilities are a lot. So you can go to the documentation of Shopify and see for yourself. There is a long list of what you can do, cart validation, and there are a lot.
So, do you actually think this is a step to the right direction to conclude with everything, how everything is processing at the moment with Shopify functions being added, the Checkout.Liquid turning to the Checkout UI as different app extensions at the moment to be able to customize stuff? Do you think it's helpful and it's a step to the right direction essentially, or not? What's your opinion on this?
There have been a lot of improvements compared to the previous versions they have released. I know that they are iterating on the checkout UI and Shopify functions. It's not like they released something and they just left it in the corner. Uh, The documentation and tutorials and all that, it's still very limited for someone that is a beginner to try and experiment. You can create development stores. You don't have to specifically be um, a Shopify Plus merchant, but it's still not that beginner friendly to start and creating checkout UI extensions and Shopify functions. You have to be at least to have a few years of professional experience.
All right, I think that would be everything I have as questions for today. Thank you very much for joining me, Dimitrios. Do you have any questions towards me?
What is your opinion on this whole migration? Do you think it's an uplift?
I think it's interesting to see how Shopify is proceeding with stuff. Being on parts and doing Shopify development since 4 years now, I've seen a lot of change, and I think it's going to the right direction actually. Basically, the whole Checkout.Liquid was a big plus, and it was way easier to work with. But letting customers, and for me customers I guess, but merchants, to be able to customize stuff just because they think they can do some CSS on the checkout is a big no-no if you're just trying to save some euros, I guess, and some money out of the whole process, right? If it's gonna ruin you, don't do it. You hire the expert to do it for you.
Yeah,
So that would be
I agree.
my point of view in the whole thing. But I think it's a good thing. It's gonna be great, and it's gonna improve a lot in the coming years. Shopify is constantly growing, and I'm glad to be part of that train.
Yeah.
So, any other
Thank you for
questions?
having me. I don't have any other questions.
All right, thank you for joining us. Guys, if you like the video,
My pleasure.
go ahead and like it. If you like Dimitrios, I'm gonna drop his LinkedIn down below, so you can go ahead and connect with him and follow him and ask him about his expertise. Thank you very much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, drop a comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Bye.